Okay, in this video I'm going to go through how that we can eventually set up Home Assistant to have a control a KNX cover integration, or have a KNX cover integration. And for the demonstration, we're going to try to get it to control a blind in KNX Virtual. So this is KNX Virtual running. I've tried it before, but I'll just run through the setup. So I'll actually go through what I need to do to get back to the beginning. So I'm just going to clear what I've got in there. Actually, I probably should close KNX Virtual first. I'm going to delete everything that's in there and just recreate it. So I'm just selecting all those files that have just been recently created, the 0 through to 20, or D0 through to D24, and these three other files here. So let's just get rid of all those. And now when I go back in and start KNX Virtual, it's kind of back with nothing in there, so I can go into there and into devices, and we can see none of these have addresses. So at that stage we can go into our ETS, and I'll just close this project and I'll recreate one. Okay, so this is the third attempt at this. I'll call it covers 3. Create the project, and then I will use the topology view. And what I want to do, I want to display the devices, and whoops, that's not what I want to display. I want to display the catalog. Let's try that. I wanted to go into the catalog. Devices I can close, sorry. And let's scroll down to find the KNX one. It'd be good if I could spell. There we go. And there's, just waiting for that to refresh. There we go. So the two devices we want are a D2 and a D4. So here's the D4, and that's gone into there. D4's in there, and the other one was the D2, which is the blind controller in KNX. Okay, so I'll just stick with the given addresses there. I then want to be able to assign some group addresses, so let's open another panel so I can see the group addresses. Now one little change I need to make is within the blinds here. Let's go into here. I need to change the, within the click, I need to change the parameters so that it's, let's just clear that for a moment, so that we have a blind. I can choose feedback or no feedback. I'll just go for no feedback just to keep it pretty simple here, and that's giving me a couple more, or one more group address. So now I've just got to link these things up. Click there, control, click here, right click, and I can link with a new group address, and I can just have this as 1/01 should be okay, I think. That's fine, and it's put that address down here, and then the stop control, link those, and link with a new address, okay. And I also want to have this position one link, so I can send an exact position, you know, like 80% open or 50% open. So that's not what I want. Let's try that. I want to link with, and I'll just use 103. So now I'll be able to send that to 103 through Home Assistant. So that's all I needed to link up here. So now with these devices, I can push that program out, or the configuration out to the devices. So this is the D2, so I can probably just do a full download at this stage. Going to the D4, sorry, that was D4. Let's just move that over so we can see what's happening here. D4 in the programming mode, and that should, all going well. Press that out, and it should download. Oh, so there it is, there, it's been downloaded. And then Yep, so it was download the address and then download the rest. Okay, so the blinds one, also I'll do a full download, and that was the D2 device. And so we should get an address in a moment. Let's see if we can see what's happening there. Got the address, and now it's going to download all the settings. Okay, so that stage KNX Virtual should be working. I'll leave ETS there for a moment. I should be able to go back into this base view, and when I go minus, we can see the blind stepping down. And if I hold this, a long press, this keeps it moving until I click it again, and then it stops it once more. Click it once, click it twice, it just moves it down. This one step up, or if I hold it, yeah, sometimes this tends to not work quite correctly. It gets a bit confused, I'm not sure what's going on here, but let's try that again. Perhaps it gets a little bit behind with what's happening, I'm not sure. So it appears like these aren't functioning, it appears frozen at this stage. Let's just be a little bit patient for a moment and see if it comes back. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It's probably something to do with KNX Virtual, and I'll hold that down. Okay, so that KNX Virtual appears to be working kind of okay. So I'll go in now and look at the settings for Home Assistant. So the only ones I need to be concerned with is KNX and the tunneling address. That's just the address, as I've explained in previous videos, that's the address of the computer I'm on, 192.168.1.182, and KNX Virtual is just running on there. So that's just that IP address. And now I'm using this cover, and these are the settings I've got in here. The platform, the name of the blind, I've just called knx.blind, and I'll just make sure these addresses are right, so that the actually this is the position one is, let's have a look at these group addresses here. Okay. So the position 103 is correct. Now how do I assign these other two? So this was the move one, and this is the stop step one. So this appears to be like the short move one. So I'll leave that as 102, and that as the 101, which that one there. So we'll see how that goes. And at that stage, I will just close that, just reopen it, and so we'll just restart Home Assistant. Running it as a Vin. Okay, so that's all going to start up. So now I'll go into the KNX Virtual, just waiting for this connection to come back. Let's just get rid of that for a moment. So I could go into the, let's just wait for that to come back. Oh, so let's have a look. This is the KNX cover here in Home Assistant, which is what I'm doing, and that hasn't come back. Why is that taking such a long time? Let's just go back into here. Oh, no, it's not going back because I haven't restarted. I've got to go in and restart it. Yes. Okay. So in a moment that should come back. Okay, so I could go in and do this through Lovelace, but I've got a few other things happening here, so I'll just go back in and do it through the entities and configuration. And so I'm just looking at this KNX blind here, and I'll just do the controls through here. So this is the entity control that I've got here. Let's bring this on screen so I can see KNX Virtual running, and I can see Home Assistant. So let's see what happens. So at the moment, if I press the up arrow, it sets this thing off, going off, but the blind thinks it's fully up, I guess. Sorry, this seems to be almost the opposite. So the logic on that, if I stop that, that will stop that moving. If I press this down arrow, this appears to work in the sense it sends the blind down, but the this little thing here thinks it's in the wrong position. So yeah, so it more or less works, and that sends it down. So if I now press the up arrow, the blind will go back up, and this thing will be sent off. Like I said, this appears to be closing when in fact it's opening. I can reverse the logic, but it tends to make the arrows, if I use this invert position to true, then I tried that, but it just made this appear to show the right thing, but the arrows appear to be wrong. So let's now press the down arrow, and the stop button appears to work, which is good. Press that again, line gets moving, and stop. So that part appears to work. Okay, press the up arrow, and that part appears to work. So this appears to be out, but there's no equivalent of like a short press and a long press on these. So not quite sure whether that's a problem or what's going on there. But a number of other people have reported issues with the with Home Assistant and the KNX cover. So probably this is not the best entity interface for this particular one, but there could be issues with KNX Virtual as well. Anyway, I'll take that as being somewhat of a demonstration. So if you want to repeat it, hopefully that will help. Good on you. Thank you. Have a good day.